"The Spirit of the Lord upon me, therefore he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor." Luke 1 verses 1-4, 4:14-21. Welcome to our channel that compares themes of the Gospel and Franciscan Sources. Today we delve deeper into the meaning of the radical and loving lifestyle of the Founder's experience, in the proclamation and in the Spirit of the Lord. For a more complete overview of our human, cultural and spiritual proposal, we suggest you visit the website juvie.art. Francis had been mocked and treated as a madman in his Assisi. Looked upon as a filthy rag by the good people of the place, immersed in feudal pleasures and amusements. After the conversion, invested by the power of the Spirit, he had understood that his mission was to announce the Father's good message to the poor, proclaiming the year of the Lord's grace with the concrete testimony of life. This had placed him on the track of the poverty of the Son of God, making himself one with it wherever he saw it. The sources, teachers of lived experience, inform us, he bent down, with wonderful tenderness and compassion, towards anyone who was afflicted by some physical suffering. And when he noticed indigence or necessity in someone, in the sweet piety of his heart, he considered it as a suffering of Christ himself. He had an innate sense of clemency, which the piety of Christ, infused from above, multiplied. He felt his heart melt in the presence of the poor and the sick, and when he could not offer help, he offered his affection. One day, a friar responded rather harshly to a poor man, who was asking for alms in an importunate manner. Hearing this, the compassionate lover of the poor commanded the friar to prostrate himself naked at the feet of the poor man, to declare himself guilty, and to ask him in charity to pray for him and forgive him. The friar did so, and the father commented sweetly, "Brother, when you see a poor man, you are placed before the mirror of the Lord and of his poor mother. Likewise, in the sick, know how to see the infirmities that Jesus took on. In all the poor, he, himself poor and very Christian, saw the image of Christ. So when he met them, he generously gave them everything they had given him, even the necessities of life. Indeed, he was convinced that he had to give it back to them, as if it were their property." Sources 11:42. The voice of the Lord had been heard in his heart for some time, inviting him to carry out a specific and new mission, through the work of the Spirit. After a vision given to him from above, a divine voice spoke to him and Francis responded, "Lord, what do you want me to do?" "Return to your land," the Lord replied, "because the vision you have had represents a spiritual mission that must be accomplished in you, not by human disposition, but by divine disposition." Sources 10:32. Francis was truly able to repeat loudly, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, therefore he has anointed me to announce the good news to the poor." Luke 4 verse 18. Wherever he found himself, in church or in the open air, before the poor or the high-ranking, he never feared to embody the prophecy mission that had touched him and chosen him. To the underprivileged of his time, as to those of every era, he announced the good news of the kingdom with tenacious relevance. He showed great compassion for the sick and a tender concern for their needs. If at times the kindness of the secular people sent him some tonic for his health, he gave it away to other sick people, even though he needed it more than anyone else. He made their sufferings his own and consoled them with words of compassion, when he could not bring them help. He even ate on fast days, so that the sick would not feel blushed, and he was not ashamed in the public places of the city to beg for meat for a sick friar. Sources 7:61. Once he heard that a sick friar wanted to eat some grapes. He accompanied him to a vineyard, and, sitting under a vine, to give him courage, he himself began to eat first. Sources 762. His compassionate heart was the size of the Eternal, with whom he wanted to conform. Luke 1 verses 1-4, 4:14-21. Thank you all for your kind attention. We invite you to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on our activities. If you liked it, leave a well done to support us. Subscribe, give your precious like, share with your friends, and comment too. Thanks, see you soon.